Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I want to say hello to everyone and thank you for joining GoGrid's, GoGrid's Cloud Storage versus Block Storage webinar. My name is Debbie and I'm one of the customer success managers here at GoGrid. Pardon me, it's kind of time to end of my day there, so I didn't mean to stumble on you. With me today is Mark. Mark is one of our Tier 2 associates and he's fairly familiar with the cloud storage and block storage products. Mark, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Mark. I've actually been working at GoGrid for about a year now, and it came from a system admin background, and actually going to talk to you briefly about our cloud storage and block storage products.
Great, thank you, Mark. Let's go ahead and get started. And today's agenda, we're going to go ahead and cover these items. What is cloud storage? The benefits of cloud storage. What is block storage? And the benefits of block storage. And on the end, we'll go ahead as well cover up some basic questions that frequently asked questions that people have, and also show you a little demonstration. Okay, Mark, why don't you let us know what is cloud storage?
Okay, the first of our two products is going to be our GoGrid Cloud Storage. When you think of the GoGrid Cloud Storage, you basically want to think of it as a network-attached storage, or basically just a file server. What you're getting with the product is a file system and a storage medium, which is scalable, and we'll go over that in the next couple of frames here. But it's useful for backups, file sharing, logging, any type of static content that you want to actually preserve would be ideal for cloud storage.
Well, that's great. So basically, I could use this to say I want to deploy a server temporarily, and I need to save my information. I can go ahead and save it into my cloud storage. And
that's correct. You can actually use it for a live backup of a live machine. That will actually be done in production where you can actually use it to back up a live machine and then redeploy another server with those same settings on it.
That is a great product. Thanks, Mark. Okay, let's go ahead and cover what the benefits are of the cloud storage, Mark.
First benefit is it's scalable. You basically scale up to anywhere up to looks like I think it's 500 terabytes or something. We'll double check our website again for that.
Sure, we can follow your website.
Yeah,
right,
but it's scalable. The first 10 gig are actually free. After that, it's 12 cents a gig for up to 1 gig. And then there's a price decrease after 1 terabyte, I believe. Up to 1 terabyte, I'm sorry. And then price decrease after 1 terabyte. And you can see the pricing on the website for those different settings. Actually, I think after that it increases by 50 terabytes and then 500 terabytes, and it goes down to about 10 or 11 cents per gig. And the best thing to remember for the cloud storage is there's no charge for private network data transfer. So you basically want to use all your private network settings for data transfer. You don't want to do it over the public network because you will get charged for it. And it'll be kind of a shock on your bill if you're transferring 40, 50 gigs a month off your public network. So you might basically want to use your private network for that.
Well, that sounds like a great tool, and it sounds like more I use it, less it is it costs for me.
That's correct.
That's awesome, Mark.
You can manage that much data there.
Well, that sounds great. Okay, let's go ahead and cover our next subject, which is what is the block storage, Mark?
Block storage is GoGrid's newest product, and you basically want to think of it as a storage-attached network or a SAN. Basically, you want to think of it as a blank hard drive that we're adding to your VM. So with the second quote, it looks like it is to the server OS. The only drawback with block storage is it's basically like a blank slate. You have to supply the file system. You have to format the file system. You can partition it in any way you want. You basically but you have to do the majority of the work. Whereas cloud storage is an NTFS file system that's already set up. And all you have to do is just connect. But block storage requires a little bit more work, but the benefits are greater. Because we're on a high-end infrastructure right now that they've built from the ground up, which I'll be explaining in the next couple slides. But you basically want to use this for any type of I/O-intensive content, databases, live transactions, dynamic web content would be another one. Anything that's going to require a lot of I/O-intensive processing would be ideal for block storage.
Wow. Well, it sounds like this has a lot of options to offer, Mark. That sounds great. Let's go ahead to our next slide. And what are the benefits of the block storage, Mark?
The benefits of block storage is basically it's attached to your VM, whereas GoGrid cloud storage is basically a shared device where you're actually getting a block of storage, let's say put it that way, not to be confused with block storage, but you're actually getting a allocation of storage, let's put it that way, for your VMs. Again, this is a new product, so all the network architecture, hardware, and networking side of it has been built from the ground up, so it's all entirely new infrastructure. One of the benefits is there is no charge for I/O at all. So basically, you can throttle all the I/O you want. There's no charge for it.
That's great. That sounds great. Okay, let's go ahead and cover just some basic questions, Mark. So, where is my block storage?
Where is your block storage? Block storage is kind of unique in that it's almost like a GoGrid designated server when you deploy it. You can deploy it through the portal, but you're not going to see it instantaneously. It has to go through the processing at GoGrid. So it'll be going through deployment, so it'll go through your billing case, go through your case manager. Basically, you're going to deploy it. You'll see the, we'll show you in a couple slides where how to actually deploy from the portal. But you'll see it there, but it's not going to be dynamic, and it won't be available until we go through all the process to get it set up for you.
Oh, that makes sense. That's great. So can I mount multiple VMs to my block storage, Mark?
Unfortunately, you can't. Most of the VMs, since they're attached to a VM, since they're attached to a virtual machine, you would actually order a block storage for each machine. It's basically allocated to the machine. So, like again, it's like a hard disk that you're adding to a machine. So you really can't share it like cloud storage.
I see. I see. So can I scale the block storage?
Unfortunately, block storage does not scale, unlike cloud storage. But block storage, if you wanted to increase if you wanted to increase your block storage, you'd actually have to decommission the existing block storage that you have and order a larger quota, and you would have to go through the process.
I see. Now, can I transfer my cloud storage files between my data centers?
Now, for cloud storage, you can. It's kind of a complicated setup because you'd have to actually add another product, which would be Cloud Bridge. So there's no way you can actually directly access cloud storage from a different POP, let's say US East to US West. You'd actually have to set up the share. You'd have to have a VM or a virtual machine in the data center that the cloud storage is in. You'd have to set up the share there, and then you would actually have to order the Cloud Bridge to go from data center. So you're basically hopping from server to storage.
Wow.
And it's kind of back and forth. So there's like a kind of Cloud Bridge is the middleman between the data centers, and you actually need that to actually access cloud storage in another data center.
Sounds great. So we do have a question here. How do I mount my cloud storage? We're going to go ahead and cover some of that in the wiki a little bit later. Is that correct, Mark?
Right. That's yeah. There's actually for each OS, it's kind of different. Windows, and basically, all you're doing is setting up a route to the cloud storage, and there's public IPs. I mean, private IPs, I should say, for the cloud storage. They're different for each POP, but they're the same IP. So if you just want to set up multiple VMs to a single cloud storage instance, you can just, basically you'll know, you don't have to do a separate IP for each cloud storage instance that's indexed.
Great. Well, Mark, let's go ahead and visit the portal and kind of show a little bit around how to order how to deploy a cloud storage and how to order a block storage. Sound good?
Yes.
And we can also review the wiki document as well. I'm sorry, my screen.
No.
Sorry about that. Okay, so here, we already went ahead and logged in. I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Mark, and we're looking basically at the grid view, your first view when you do log into your portal. And take it away.
Okay, block storage being a new product, we have a little tab here you'll see in your portal. It says storage. Basically, right now it's only available in US West, so you'll only be able to deploy a block storage in US West. But let's go back here. We'll go back to the grid. Back to the grid view here to kind of show you. So let's say if we want to, basically how you would add a server, you would add a storage object. Let's see if we try US East and we go to storage, block storage straight out, but we can add a cloud storage here. So we want to, let's say we want to do another one US West of block storage. And that would actually create a case right here, or bring it back to this screen right here. So you would just actually enter your server that you want to attach the block storage to. Let's try this one on here, webinar, and then I think we can go to, I think in increments in hundreds. So you can either 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte, or 100 gig, 200 gig, 300 gig, and then basically choose a name for your. This is, I think this is optional, but you can go ahead. I'd have to confirm that with our systems team, and then just go ahead and click on save. Now, when you do this, it's actually going to create a case under your portal. Basically, you'll be able to see that when you look in the cases that you have. There'll be an open case for deployments to actually issue you a block storage application. And unfortunately, you have to wait until that gets through the proper channels to get it deployed. But you actually would see it in your grid. It would be similar to what you see for cloud storage.
That sounds
Like
great.
that. Different type of icon, but you'll actually see it there.
Great. So it's nice having a case so I can be able to watch the progress of my order, what's going on with it, and when I could get excited to have that deployed, right?
Yeah, I mean, actually,
awesome.
it's like a GPDX. I mean, you put it in there, but it's actually, physical hardware, so you actually, get it. It's not a virtual, allocation like cloud storage, so you would actually have to watch and wait.
Exactly. Well, why don't you go ahead and show us how you, it's like a little simple steps on how you go ahead and add another cloud storage.
Well, for cloud storage, let's say we have US East here and US West here. Let's say we want to add one in Nova Pop, which would be our last pop would be EU West, which would be Amsterdam. So we go ahead and click on that. And then you want to go to the storage, and then you would hit the cloud storage again. And then it basically shows you a little disclaimer here. The first 10 gig are free. Again, you're going to be charged 12 cents for every gig over 10. And then basically, like I said, you check the website and it'll, up to after 1 terabyte, it goes down.
Wow, great. That's
So then you go ahead and all you have to do is click on save. And then it's, oh, see, we don't have our present set up in IED, so we actually have to do that. But,
well, that's a great demonstration. It kind of gives us an idea, basically, if you don't have any deployed right now. So it's the basic steps on how to do it. That's great.
So we'd actually have to do that. So, I mean, even if, but you can only have one storage allocation of cloud storage per pop. So basically, let's say we want to try to add more cloud storage in US West and try to go add to the portal, you get your restriction limit up there.
Oh, I see.
But if you do feel that you're running out of space, say this one here is used, this is not used, but cloud storage should dynamically allocate more space when you get close to your limit.
Right.
And again, I'm not sure. I had to actually run by our systems team to find out what that limit is. But if you're anticipating an event where you actually need to allocate more cloud storage, we can do that for you. We'd actually just call it the support line. And then we could add whatever you want to your cloud storage so you would have sufficient space to do whatever you need to do. Add files, add backups, add more content.
Well, that's awesome.
So yeah, then you just call our support line 24/7 and they would add it for you.
Cool.
So we have that covered.
What about the, thank you very much for that, Mark. What about the GoGrid wiki that you're saying that we could go ahead and get some instructions on the mounting?
Yeah, GoGrid is a pretty good resource for the cloud storage product, actually. If you go to the, scroll down to where it says the user manual right here, it says it's still in beta, but it's actually set up to, it's pretty well covered. This just kind of goes over the steps that we've done before to actually add cloud storage.
Oh, that's great.
And then basically, I mean, you want to look at whatever OS that you have for your VM, and then I'll kind of actually walk you through it. If you click on that, we'll actually kind of walk you through how to do it. Unfortunately, it's all manually. We haven't set up an automated way to do this yet, so that's in the works. But
Okay.
this is the 3 IPs that you actually have to remember, because these are the public IPs or private IPs, I should say, for US West and US East and EU West. So you'll be adding that to each instance of the server that you want to connect to cloud storage.
Right, right. Well, that sounds easy enough, and it looks like there's great instructions there, Mark. Thank you so much for showing us that. I really appreciate that. Now let's go ahead and move on to our next slide and see if anybody has any questions currently. And let's check on our listeners. Okay. And do we have any questions? If you're still with us, you go ahead and you can type in your question at the lower box area. We have to answer any questions for you. Other than that, looks like we don't have any questions at this time, but that's not a problem. Honestly, we have this information slide here for you that gives you better information. As you see here, you go to the wiki, as we just did. It gives you some breakdown and some steps on easy how-tos, as well as our blog. It gives you a lot of updated information. We now also have our help center, which is at the GoGrid.course.com, and basically you'll just kind of put in a hint of a word what you're looking for in our process, and it should give you the answer you're looking for. If not, okay, we're here all the time for you, 24/7 for support. You can call us anytime with the numbers below. Also, if you need any additional assistance, you can reach myself at customer service at GoGrid.com, or please feel free to log into our live chat, which is available on the portal. That's also available 24/7 for support and during business hours for customer service and billing. So we'd like to thank you so much for joining us today. This was really informative. Thank you, Mark, for displaying. It was awesome. And if you guys enjoyed this webinar, you found it informative, please feel free to sign up for our next webinar scheduled on October 2nd, which will be covering our managed monitoring versus security monitoring. And again, we thank you so much. And like I said, if you do have questions and you just didn't ask them today, feel free to email us or pop on with a case or send us an email.
Call that toll-free number.
Call that toll-free number.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly. Well, thank you again for joining us, and thanks again, Mark, for being here.
Thank you very much.
Everybody have a wonderful evening.